Hello and welcome back to the Dan BTF YouTube channel. Here I am with another Euro 2020 upload. Now in today's video we have a whole raft of predictions from the boys on the BTF Podcast. Now if you're not familiar with the BTF Podcast and you've always wondered, Dan BTF, what does the BTF stand for? There it is, back to football, and we are the number one podcast for people who probably should talk about something other than football. Every episode we talk about, absolutely anything and everything, and then eventually the episode will always go back to football, as all good conversations do, of course. So today's video will feature all the guys from the BTF Podcast. They'll be making their predictions for these Euros, and I would absolutely love it if you would go ahead and subscribe to the BTF Podcast YouTube channel. We are at under 100 subs at the time of making this video. If we could get over that 100 mark as a result of this video, it would be absolutely amazing, and if not, then at least some point during the Euro 2020 tournament we would love to hit that milestone. Premise for the video here: I sent out a list of questions to the boys. They recorded their answers and sent them to me. I will say that I didn't specify the length of reply needed. So I didn't say, you need to give me 20 seconds answer here. You can be as brief as you want or elaborate as much as you want. And you'll probably see that in some of the answers, because some of them are, a little bit shorter than others. Yeah, jokes aside. So we will get on with the predictions. I'm going to leave a link for the BTF channel below. I will love you forever if you would go and sub to that channel. We're going to have plenty of content throughout the Euros. Probably going to have a podcast before and after each England fixture with our reactions, particularly for those after ones. But yeah, here we go. Let's get on with the predictions. My predictions will also be in there, so hope you enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side. Right, top scorer for the tournament. I'm going to take Antoine Griezmann. He was the top scorer in 2016 with 6 goals. Generally, this tournament, 5 or 6 goals will get you the Golden Boot. I think in 2004, it was like 3 goals was enough to get you the Golden Boot. Maybe even in 2012, actually, Alan Jagoev, Fernando Torres, and a couple other players only got 3 goals and shared the Golden Boot. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Griezmann. He's on penalty duty, playing in that absolutely stacked France team. Mbappe's going to be winning a few penalties, and Griezmann's going to be sticking them away. So, yeah, there's my pick for Golden Boot.
I've got one man, and it pains me to say this, but I'm going to say it's going to be Harry Kane. This man just knows what that is, you know what I mean? At the last World Cup, the guy got 6 goals. God knows how. A deflection, off the arse, couple pens. So, when he's the leading man at Tottenham, he's getting the goals. And same thing at England, he's the leading man, he's the main striker. He's going to start every game. He's going to play every minute if he can. So I feel like Harry Kane just going to have that in the bag, really.
The top scorer will be Lukaku.
I think, as boring as it sounds, I reckon it might actually be Harry Kane. I think their group's not amazing. I reckon if their set pieces are on point, I reckon he could be on 5 goals before they even get out of the group. They play Scotland and the Czech Republic and Croatia. Croatia's a tough game, but it's probably going to be a set piece that they score from there, because that game will be quite tight. But against Scotland and Czech Republic, I can definitely see him getting a brace against one or both of those teams. So I'm going to go for Harry Kane.
I think that Harry Kane is going to be the top goal scorer at the Euros.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to say Harry Kane. I just think with him being a talisman for England, taking all the penalties, and with us crossing into the box and having him just there, a real goal scorer, I can't look very far past him, and winning the Golden Boot at the World Cup as well. it's got to be Harry Kane for me.
I think Lukaku will get the Golden Boot. I think he'll carry on his form from Inter and bring it over to the Euros.
Most assists at the tournament. This one's a difficult one because there's some very obvious candidates, i.e. Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, but I'm actually going to go with the man that I think a lot of you have tipped to be the top scorer in terms of goals in the tournament, and that is Harry Kane. We know that he ended the Premier League season this year with the most assists. I think it was 17 assists. First player to top both goals and assists since Andy Cole, I think in either 93, 94 or 92, 93. So yeah, I think Harry Kane could end up with more assists than he actually gets goals. There's a lot of goal scorers in that England team.
In terms of the most assists, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes. He's killed it in the last 18 months he's been at United, and you could tell from the first 3 months he was a talented player when he was there. Now imagine him in a national team. I feel like he's one of those players that will just absolutely turn the fuck up for national teams and just do a madness. So I feel like he will be feeding them the Portuguese forwards, getting them the goals, getting the assists as well. So I feel like Bruno Fernandes is going to be the guy for the assists.
I'm going to stick with the Belgium theme and go for Hazard for the most assists.
Oh, assists. It's a tough one. Oh man, that is a tough one, that one. I don't know, I really don't know. I think maybe Bruno Fernandes might be a good shout.
I think Kevin De Bruyne is going to get the most assists at the Euros.
It's going to be really hard to look past Kevin De Bruyne. I think with that Belgium national team, him linking up with Lukaku, I think it's going to really bring the best out of him, and I can't see past Kevin De Bruyne. He's definitely a playmaker of the Belgian national team, and with the talent that they've got, it's going to be very difficult to look past him.
I think Mbappe will get the most assists being in that team. Now that he's got the focal point up front, I think he'll do more work to help out.
I think if I was in that squad, I'd be disappointed not to get to the semi-final. But I think they're going to get to the quarters.
I think that England will get to the quarterfinals of the Euros, and Gareth Southgate will be sacked, and that for me will be as good as us winning the Euros.
And England, I can honestly see us making it to the final.
Man like Waistcoat could do a madness. Do 4 at the back, 3 at the back, 5 at the back, we don't know yet. But going off the last competition we're in, the World Cup, we came in the semis. I feel like I was a bit lucky the route we had. But if England on their day, they can reach semis again for the Euros. But I'm going to say quarters. I feel like we're going to draw a big team like France or even Italians who are coming through. This time round, I think we'll get strong against them.
Look, my track record of predictions is pretty poor, but how far will England get in a tournament? I'd love to be able to say get to the final, but I think a more realistic one is I think we'll get to the semi-finals again, and anything after that really, in my opinion, is a bonus. So I really hope that they can do better than they did in the World Cup, but it's England at the end of the day. It's yet to be seen.
I think England will go to around the semis. I don't know who they've got in their bracket, their side of the bracket, but hopefully semis.
England. I'm not too sure. I kind of think that we can either go all the way or we could crash out in the second round, so the round of 16. I think we will get through the group stage. And actually, to be honest, I think we're going to win the group with 9 points. However, that will mean that we meet either France, Portugal, or Germany, most likely, possibly Hungary. But we'll meet the runner-up of Group F, the group of death. And presumably we'll be playing either France or Portugal, possibly Germany, in that round. And yeah, that's where it's going to get pretty serious pretty quickly. And yeah, I think we may crash out in the round of 16. Hope not, though. I hope we go all the way and bring it home.
I'm just excited to watch for this Euros is there's one man, and one man only, but Don Dada, Benzema. How many years is it? 5 years since he last played for the French national team, and this guy, he's a don, he's a boss. The way he carries himself, the way he performs at Real Madrid, the guy is outstanding.
The player I'm most excited to watch is going to be Mbappe.
I'm probably quite excited to watch Ronaldo. It's probably going to be his last one. There's probably going to be, I mean, it's not going to be announced, but I reckon it'll be, it'll be something that gets probably said in commentary and things like that. Oh, it may be his last one. It may be his last Euros for sure. Anyway, and yeah, I think that he's going to have some real good games.
Player I'm most excited to watch at the Euros is Phil Foden.
Which player am I most excited to watch? In all honesty, I'm really excited to watch Phil Foden. I think he's got amazing talent, and I think he's really going to bring something different to the England team. For once, we've got a bit of direct play coming from a player, creativity, and he's young as well. So I'm really excited to watch Phil Foden. I think he's one to watch this tournament.
Being a Chelsea fan, I can't wait to see Mason Mount play for England and do something with them.
Player that I'm excited to watch is actually Robert Lewandowski. I think this guy is kind of carrying an entire nation's hopes on his shoulders. Poland have a pretty rough travel schedule as well. They're going from, I think, Seville to St. Petersburg and then back to Seville, clocking up way more air miles than any other team in the tournament, at least for the group stages. But yeah, Lewandowski, peak physical fitness, probably the best out-and-out striker in the world. I know Lukaku is probably typing right now hearing that, but yeah, I think Lewandowski has a lot of pressure on him. I think he's this kind of guy that can probably handle that pressure. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching him in Poland games. A team I think will surprise people. Well, this kind of depends, doesn't it, on how much you watch football, how much you follow football. It may surprise people that certain teams might not do as well as expected. I'm gonna back one of the sort of more spoken about underdogs, if there is such a thing in this tournament, and I think that's Turkey. They're coming into this tournament on pretty good form. They've got the main man Burak Yilmaz up top, who has just pulled Lille to a Ligue 1 title for the first time since 2010-11. He's no spring chicken, but he's certainly in the form of his life. They got a whole host of other great players, obviously Soyuncu at the back. So yeah, I think Turkey I'll go with. I also think Switzerland could surprise some people in this tournament. But yeah, I'll go with Turkey as my one team that I think will surprise people.
I'm really going to go out on a limb here and say dark horses potentially are Poland. I think they might go quite far in the tournament on the basis that they've got one of the most informed strikers in the world. And I don't think they have that tough a run in the group. So after that, I just think the knockout stages beyond the groups, anything can happen. And I think Lewandowski is going to really show everyone why he's one of the best strikers in the world.
I think Italy, they haven't lost in ages, and no one's talking about it.
You know what it is? I'm going to say the Scottish lot, I'm going to say the boys up north. The boys, the Celt, I mean the Kilt gang. I feel like defensively they're not the worst team in the world. They've got even Alan McGregor or David Marshall in goal for them. They're not bad goalkeepers. They both have Premier League experience. McGregor just won a title at Rangers, so he could bring that winning mentality. And when you've got two hard-ass, strong-ass defenders in Kiratini and Robertson, I feel like defensively they're not going to be weak and vulnerable as people think they'll be.
The team that will cause the biggest surprise for me, I think, could be Portugal. If they get far, they've just got the firepower to go on and win it if they can get out of that group.
I think win it. Originally, it was the Netherlands because I thought they'd be a bit too powerful this season for this tournament. But now, because Van Dijk is still not fit and not going to make the tournament, I'm thinking it's going to be a French thing. I'm not going to lie to you. They had that certain, how you say, je ne sais quoi about them. The depth they have in the team is unbelievable. I feel like the addition of Benzema now is just going to make them an even better team than they were before.
Tournament winner, I'm going to stick with Portugal. I predicted them in my own predictions video where I filled out the bracket. And I still think, you know, they've got an all-star centre-back in Ruben Diaz. They've got Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Diego Jota. The list goes on of fantastic players they have. I've heard from people that they have a fairly backwards-thinking manager. So that could potentially hold them back. But on star power, on paper, I think they're almost as good as France. And I think the fact that they won it in 2016 means that they'll go on and win this tournament also.
So as the tournament winner, I'm going to go for Belgium.
I'm going to go for France. I think they'll make it out. It's hard to look past them, but yeah, they've got the strongest squad. You know, outside chance for Portugal, but I reckon it'll be France.
I think that France are going to win the Euros.
My pick for the Euro 2020 winner, you can't look past that French national team. Likelihood of Benzema and Mbappe teaming up, I think it's going to overpower a lot of teams. So I'm going to go for France with my Euro 2020 pick.
I think France will win the Euro. Their squad is crazy, and they just brought Benzema back, and I think he'll push the team even further.
So there you have it. There's our Euros predictions from the BTF podcast, the Back to Football podcast, the #1 podcast for people who probably should talk about something other than football. Now, please make sure you go and follow the BTF account. As mentioned at the start of the video, I will absolutely love you forever if you do so. If you want to watch some more content from this channel, I'm going to leave a link here. There's one here, and you can hover over this to sub to the damn BTF channel as well. Guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll see you during the tournament. Bye bye.